What's good, y'all? Welcome to Key with the Benji. Today we are reacting to Father Wounds by Express Yourself Black Man. Father Wounds is basically just, where the masculine figure of somebody's life is absent or isn't emotionally and physically there. You know what I mean? And this video relates to me a lot, because my father wasn't there in my life, so I got
abandonment issues I'm getting treated for.
But I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to this. Male, female, doesn't matter if it's black or another race. Let's get into it.
Let me ask you this, right? What role does the way we identify with masculinity in our society play into father wounds? Or do you feel like it has a role?
Oh, 1000%. So, as y'all know, I'm a huge bell hooks advocate, huge. So my book club right now in my love classroom, we're rereading A Will to Change, right? And in The Will to Change, the first sentence in the first chapter on the first page says, every female wants male love, right? But that's the thing. We as men deeply associate love with femininity. We deeply associate it also with sexuality. So to then take that phrase and then replace female with male, a number of men immediately you would tell the depth of their homophobia, right?
Every female wants male love, and change that to every male wants male love. What he just said right there, like a lot of us men, like the word love is sexual. You know what I mean? For people in general, the word love is sexual, but when it comes to a man, it's like even saying you love your brother, you love your friend is like,
nigga, you gay.
And that sentiment, every man wants male love, is true. Every male desires that. Every man desires that parental figure, that masculine figure in their life to love them and show them the way of masculinity, right? I mean, I know there's a lot of men out there that can't even have this conversation, you know what I mean? And when they do have this conversation, it's like, bro, what are you talking about? You sound homophobic. You sound homo or something like that, And it's crazy because, I know I needed that, right? That male love from my father. Like I said, abandonment issues I'm getting treated for. But, it's a cycle. For him, it was a cycle of abandonment that just got passed down onto me. And that's one thing that we need to stop doing is passing down trauma from generation to generation. We have to learn how to grow from it. We have to learn how to progress from it. Surpass that trauma. That's what I'm trying to do with videos like this, my mental health, and speaking on it.
For example, let's say that we look at it from the perspective of men and child rearing, right? A number of men say that they don't want to child rear because that's what the women does. That's what they're good at. Like, women are more nurturing. What I then say to these men, or what I ask them is, okay, if that's the case, do you feel as if though you do not have the capacity to nurture? Right? Do you feel that you are lacking of that entity within yourself? If that's the case, brother, that's a lack of skill set that is linked to your inability to access vulnerability. Right?
Ooh. As a man, do you have the capacity to nurture? Honestly, growing up for me, like being in a female oriented household for sister and a mother, I was raised in femininity. So I have that nurturing side. I have that being able to be vulnerable side, and it comes naturally to me. But I think most men see that nurturing as a female perspective, like that love, that nurturing, that emotional support system. That's the female's role. It's both parties' role. Being able to be vulnerable, being able to express yourself, being able to be real with your partner, your friend, whoever you are talking to, is so important for everybody's health. Everybody that you're, around, it's important for everybody's health. I learned that, me being vulnerable allow other people to speak up, be able to speak to me about what they've been through, their pain, and it allowed me to be that nurturing voice. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of men disregard that nurturing side due to father wounds. You know what I mean? Due to what society tells you a man has to be. And I don't truly agree with that. You know what I mean? I think it's creating a lot of sadness, depression, hurt that we don't really speak about.
Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. There are a number of black
Jeez.
men who are more concerned with being immortalized than mortalizing themselves. There are a number of black men who are more concerned with being dehumanized than humanized. And when I say dehumanized, you believe that your masculinity is rooted in your ability to sustain literal torture and not say anything. That's dehumanizing. You are making yourself into an object of taking on this horrendous amount of negative energy and not dispelling it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Ooh. Even bro had to take a pause on that one, bro. I ain't gonna lie. What he just said right there is spot on and it's crazy. He said we as men, we dehumanize ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to feel certain emotions. You know what I mean? Sadness, depression, pain, hurt. You can't feel that because if you feel that, then you're not really being the man. You're not being true and you're masculine. You're not walking in it. We're allowing ourselves to be less than as men when it comes to that emotional awareness, that emotional intelligence. Now we're told growing up, suck it up, be a man, don't cry. And then we wonder why we're the highest in suicide rates, the highest in drug usage, etc. Creating this cycle of negativity, this cycle of dehumanization. We gotta work, man. That's how we gotta work on that.
Said something, and I thought it made perfect sense. They said when you got a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yes. Or when you got a gun, everything looks like a target.
You know what I'm saying? Like true, right? And that's how we are as men, right? Like a lot of times, what it'll be is because we don't have tools and we don't know how to respond to situations, we just same response every single time. I'm gonna beat it up, or I'm gonna struggle through it and not say anything.
And that's what makes it toxic.
Right. Exactly. Right. And that's what we're trying to get into the conversation of, because I've struggled with the thought process that there isn't a such thing as toxic masculinity. Right. I started to use hyper masculinity instead, just to make people a little bit more comfortable. But at the end of the day, hyper toxic, we know what we're saying.
Right.
What we're essentially saying is you cannot always operate in the masculine. There has to be some type of balance, right? Like if you're always operating in something, that means that you're imbalanced.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't we see that? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yo, I was just talking to my brothers about this the other day. You know what I mean? I was telling them that, of course, we're going to have to walk on our masculine. We're going to have to stay 10 toes. We're going to have to hold our, you know what I mean? You know what, you feel me? And
I let my nuts hang, right?
I told them that, or I suggested that, but you don't have to wallow in your masculinity. Because that's what creates toxic masculinity. When you're nothing but masculine, when you disregard that feminine side, you know what I mean? That nurturing, that emotional awareness side to you, and you're always walking in your masculine, you feel like the world is against you. Everybody's out to get you. The world is not fair to you. It ain't about you. And if you focus on your health, your emotional, your physical, and your mental health, you'll realize that it's not about you. And you'll feel way more freer than you do right now. But when you're always walking in your masculine, it's like there's a target on your back. You know what I mean? I think a lot of men, especially black men, feel like that. You know what I mean? It's just like the odds are stacked against them. And it is. But you don't have to fight yourself as well. You're already fighting the world, but you don't gotta fight yourself. For real.
We get into the podcast, we start talking, and I'm like, "Yo, bro, what's up?" Like, I normally ask like how the guest is doing. I say, "Yo, how you doing?" First thing he said, "I'm good." I'm like, "Nigga, what? No, you not good." You know what I'm saying?
You
But
lying in front of company, nigga.
like, I'm like, "Yo, bro, like," but I get it though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understood that wholeheartedly, and what I love about that episode is right after that, I gave him the space to be able to talk about it.
Damn, Kizzle, real quick.
What's up?
I wanna interrupt you real fast.
Nah, go ahead, yeah.
Because something just dawned on me.
What's up?
Do you believe that a number of men will feel as if though they're imposters if they admit that they are not as good as they say that they are?
Yeah.
So in other words, because masculinity is so performance based, if I cannot do this performance, does that not make me a man? That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I really don't believe that we look at just
Hold up. I'm sorry. Bro, he just said, as men, we feel like imposters if we don't keep up this facade of masculinity because it's so performance based. Damn. You know what I mean? Like, I've gotten better at, you know what I mean, putting down the facade, letting it go for real, for real. I know for me, like I used to, because my father wasn't there, so I had made an image of what a man's supposed to be. Just looking at my grandfather, who rarely said anything, stood tall, got his work done, and didn't say nothing to nobody for real, right? So that's how I grew up, and that's how I decided to walk in my masculinity. So my pain, my hurt, kept it inside. My words kept them to myself, and stood tall and remained stoic, right? I still have those qualities in me, you know what I mean, but they're way more toned down. I'm way better at expressing myself, you know what I mean, emotionally and whatever. But I believe that a lot of black men or men in general will put up that facade of masculinity, you know what I mean, to fit the mold of what a man's supposed to be. And when you're trying to conform yourself into what the society says a man is supposed to be, you're losing yourself. You know what I mean? And it's like you're already putting up a front. So when you show the real you, it's like you're a different person. And you're being vulnerable, which is another thing that men can't do or choose not to. Those walls and those barriers when it comes to men and it comes to the emotional side, we have to break those. We have to make speaking on what you're going through more common in our group. You know what I mean? And I try to push that in my group of friends. I try to push that with the family. You know what I mean? Because I know it's helped me astronomically. All right. So if I were you, I would suggest to do the same. You know what I mean? Share, express, be real to whoever you meet, to whoever you love. Just let go of that facade. You feel me?
Issue, not because of that, but just like they had a other disagreement, and I was just like, "Yo, bro, listen, I ain't like the way, I don't know about the conversation and how things went. All these different things was happening, and I was like, yeah, bro, I don't know, bro." I try to give him the little, let's try to nudge him in the right direction. Like, bro, listen, I used to go through a situation and that relationship didn't end up working out. So you take what you need to from that.
Yeah, I be trying to tell brothers, man, like stop engaging with women who are dehumanizing to you simply because they got good pussy.
Ooh.
Like you would allow somebody to pay you to dehumanize you and you would allow somebody to fuck you out of your humanity? That's crazy to me.
Oh my God.
It's a whole different meaning to the word soul snatcher, boy.
Dang.
Brother just said, stop letting these women dehumanize you. I've been through that. Ain't gonna lie, like I was always when I started speaking to women, you know what I mean, when I got the comfort to do that, I realized that I'm a very emotional, like loving individual. When I say emotional, I mean that I'm able to express it. You know, I'm gonna tell you how I feel about you in the moment, whatever. But I remember the first time that I was dealing with a woman, those qualities went away because I was trying to conform to what she was used to, which was, toxic. You know what I mean? Not really being there for, being aggressive in a certain way. And I realized that I was dehumanizing myself. I was basically being that woman's tool. You know what I mean? Or she was just painting me however she wanted to, and I was letting her. You know what I mean? I was letting myself change to conform to what she needed. And when you do that, you lose yourself. And I know for a fact I lost myself. And when it came to losing her, and it felt worse because it was like, damn, I changed all this for her, but now I'm me and I'm alone. And that right there is something that I hope men realize earlier. I realized early. I'm 22, or I'm 20. I was 22 at the time, 23 now, and but I realized that lesson early. Never change who you are. Never let a woman change you. Never let anybody change you for who you are. Now, if who you are is a little bit toxic, then allowing somebody to change you might help. You know what I mean? Change those little toxic traits, make them positive, make a better you, whatever. But if you're a good person and you stay on your principles and you got morals and you just love the way you do, why would you let somebody change that? Why would you let somebody take your energy? And we as men, we will do anything for some cutty. I swear we would do anything for some butt. Some men will drive an hour and 30 minutes just to get something. That ain't me. I ain't that person. That is ridiculous. Okay? Driving an hour and 30 minutes. No. No. But stop putting that on the pedestal. Stop putting that so high on the pedestal. That cutty. Because there's always gonna be cutty in the world. A new woman's gonna come. But you always gotta be with yourself. Always gotta be with yourself. And if you ain't good with yourself, then you ain't never gonna be right.
Another thing is too that I realized for myself, a lot of men aren't comfortable being alone.
No. Because they got to be alone with their own thoughts.
They gotta be alone with their own thoughts, and also they don't know how to take care of themselves.
Nope.
My whole life, I've been taught that I don't need to take care of myself. A lot of men are, you know what's crazy?
We're conditioned to believe that there's going to be a woman to come in and quote unquote complete us. Like I can't stand.
Oh my
brother,
God, you just
brother,
read my mind.
I cannot stand.
Ooh. All right. So, brother just said that we're not comfortable being alone as men. We're not comfortable being alone with our thoughts. And I agree with that. Then other dude just said that we expect a woman to complete us. That we'll find that magical person that's gonna complete us. Oh my God, no. I know that was me. That's what I saw. You know what I mean? I saw in the movies, I saw on TV, like, oh, I'm gonna meet this woman, we're gonna clash together and we're gonna create this perfect harmony. Nah. You know what I mean? The thoughts that I had in my brain that still pop up from time to time. You know, that self-loathing, that self-deprecation, all that. You know what I mean? Being alone with those thoughts, they took a toll on me. They really broke me down. You know what I mean? Step by step, but it helped build me up. I mean, going through those thoughts, processing those thoughts, and figuring out why those thoughts were happening, truly allowed me to boss up and grow. You know, my thought process was that, oh, as long as I, You know what I mean? I get this job. I take care of myself financially. Um, a woman will come and she'll complete the other side. Nah, I had to complete me for me. You don't complete me, I complete me. And not in a narcissistic way. You know what I mean? Not saying like I'm perfect 'cause I'm not. I ain't perfect, but I'm working. You feel me? The thing is, most people ain't doing that work. That work is terrifying to most people. Being alone with your thoughts, doing your self actualization work, realizing what hurt you, why you feel the way you do, that is more terrifying than telling somebody. It's like it's like it's like you can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself. I mean, you will always know the truth about you, what you're going through. That's why I don't lie no more. If I ain't feeling the way, if I don't feel like going out, bro, if I don't feel like going out, I'm just gonna be like, hey, I'm sorry, but I don't feel like going out right now. You know what I mean? Back in the day, I would make up an excuse like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Nah, I just don't feel like going out. I just realized that line just took a toll on my psyche that I didn't want to go through anymore. The thing is, that's also something that I have to work on. You know what I mean? Being blunt now, because me not lying has made me be blunt, more blunt. And I was always a blunt person. I was always straightforward, but now I'm really straightforward. Like if I don't like something, I'm gonna tell you. If I like you, I'm gonna tell you. You know, and it's helped me be a better man. It has. But the episode is titled "Father Wounds," right? And I realized that looking for somebody to complete you also stems for that father wound. You know, if your father was abandoned, then you have attachment and you have abandonment issues, which is something that I do have. You know what I mean? I realize that when I meet people, friends, love interests, whatever, that I can get attached easily. You know what I mean? I'm a man who pours his heart out to anybody. Well, not to anybody, but if you get close to me enough, my heart is gonna go out to you. I will go above and beyond for you, give you that light, give you my energy, give you my all, because I don't want you to feel like you have to leave, right? And I realized that stemmed from my father not being there, and that has created great relationships, friends, and it's also created a breakdown of relationships when it comes to lovers. You know, because every time that I would get involved with a female, it was like, yeah, I would go above and beyond. Like this was back in the G. Like I would go above and beyond, and I would just conform to whatever she needed, just so that she wouldn't leave. You feel me? And women can sense that. Women can sense that feeling of incompletion, and that's why now it's like I know that whoever comes into my life, they will be loved, they will be seen, they will be heard, but I will be too. We will value each other on the same level, friend or lover. You come into my life, you have to know that I'm one of the realest people that you will ever meet in this life. And if you ain't the same, if you can't reciprocate that energy, walk away. Walk away. Because I don't deal with no fakeness in my life. And that's facts. These father wounds that I have and I'm still going through because they're not gone, they will never go away. The pain that you feel, it will never fade. But as long as you can control it, as long as you see the cues, you know what I mean, and you know why those thoughts and those emotions are there, you're going to see better days. You're going to feel better. My father once had me locked in the cage for a long time, and It wasn't until I expressed myself. It wasn't until I did my self-actualization work. It wasn't until I worked on my mental work that I created peace for me. I'm at peace. Not to say there ain't days that I don't feel it, that I don't feel my hurt. But for the most part, my peace is intact. And that right there is a blessing. And you can be the same way. All it takes is a little bit of work. Everybody want to be great, but nobody wants to put that work in. When you put in that work and you see those changes in you, changes in personality, your confidence, it's like you're a new person. And I feel great. That has been today's episode of Keep It a Benji. Hopefully y'all stay blessed, y'all stay beautiful. Thank you for everybody who watched this. I will put the link of this episode in the bio description. You need to go watch it. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna say you need to, but I would really like if you would watch it. You feel me? It's a very great episode. Express Yourself Black, man. Speaks on that realness, and it's not just for black people, it's for all people. But yeah, stay blessed, stay beautiful. Peace.